My name is Michael DeLue. If you're a fan of the NFL just like myself, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and join the Pull Up to Say community. Why? It only takes a couple seconds, and it also helps me in being able to achieve my long-term goals, all right? Y'all know what it is. Another prime time, another week is in the books. Let's react to these. I'm going to react to these primetime games. The first one, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 25-11, which is the first time in NFL history we've ever had a score like that. First thing I want to say and address is I'm not surprised. My brother and one of my closest homies, D, both Eagles fans, and talking to them prior to this game, they were not worried even in the slightest. Not even in the slightest. They were not worried at all. Coming to this game, the Eagles were had 11 wins out of their last 12 road games, and they continued their streak this week. One thing that I feel like is really, really important to note about the Eagles is the Eagles have not played their best football. Not even close. Not even in the slightest. The Eagles have not played their best football. It's not even again, I repeat, not even close, not even in the slightest. The Eagles' best game and best performance is still yet to come. This team is continuing to gel. They're continuing to get better and better. But you can't point to any single game that they've played, whether it's the Patriots game, whether it's against the Vikings, or whether it's against the Bucs, and say that was them firing on all cylinders, playing their best brand of football. It hasn't happened. So, and that's scary for the rest of the league because, I mean, if you were to rate all the games that the Eagles have played, anywhere between a B to C, honestly, every single performance, they haven't had an A game yet. So when they do, it's gonna be scary, and I feel bad for whoever the fuck is gonna catch that A game. Genuinely feel bad for them. No Super Bowl hangover for the Eagles. They're the first runner-up team and the first NFC champion to start off the season 0-3 in over 20 years. That means they're locked in. They're ready to go. They have their eyes on the prize. They want to be the number one seed all over again. I mean, it's no surprise. The team that they played in the NFC Championship is also 3-0. But no hangover. They started off the season firing. Not I wouldn't say firing on all cylinders, but they are working through kinks. But nevertheless, they're still undefeated. And it's important just to note that besides the 49ers, the Eagles are just on another level as opposed to every other team in the NFC. Tampa Bay, if we're being 1,000%, Tampa Bay never really had a chance. And not all 2-0 teams are built the same. You look at the Bucs and you look at the Eagles. The Bucs are 2-0 coming into this week, but both the teams that they played have not won a game. They played the 0-3 Vikings and they played the 0-3 Bears. Trash and more trash, okay? Not all 2-0 teams. Two teams can have the same record and be completely one team can be a pretender, one team can be a fraud. And that's what we've seen in this game. Did anyone think the Bucs would be 2-0 coming into this game? Probably not. But I mean, at the end of the day, context is everything. I mean, your schedule, who you beat matters just as how you beat them matters, and who you lose to matters just the same way. How you a loss to a tightly contested loss to the Eagles, in my opinion, is way more impressive than a blow beating on the fucking Broncos. Come on now, you know what I mean? Makes sense. All right. And like I said, they played a B game and beat a team that was honestly played one of their best games or whatever the case may be. But the Eagles are just in my opinion, the most complete team in the NFL. Once again, just like last week against the Vikings, they dominated on the ground. This week, 201 yards on the ground. The Eagles are just dominating on both sides of the trenches. Okay, their offensive line is dominant. They had over 200 yards on the ground. Jalen Hurts had over 300. Jalen Hurts had almost 280 yards through the air. So they had over 400 yards of offense. Okay, so that means the offensive line was, say it with me, dominant. Okay, say it with me, dominant. And their defensive line suffocated the Bucs all game long. They had nothing. They had nothing. They had no answer for anything. They had nothing. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't pass. The Eagles defense only allowed 174 yards of total offense to the Buccaneers. That's fucking pitiful. That's pitiful on the Buccaneers' part. The Eagles, hey man, they doing what they do best. They go out there and they wreak havoc on the defensive side of the ball. And not only did they wreak havoc on the defensive side of the ball, they forced 2 turnovers. Okay, Reed Blankenship interception. Jalen Carter had a forced fumble, and that's two turnovers that they got just based on their defense, just doing what they do best. And like I said, they're elite on both sides of the trenches. All right, their offensive line is the best offensive line in football. Their defensive line, one of the best defensive line in football. Their rush defense suffocated the Bucs. I don't think the Bucs have more than 50 yards rushing as a team. Their pass defense suffocated the Bucs. They got after Baker Mayfield. They made him uncomfortable. He didn't have time to throw in the pocket. They jumped routes. They missed time. They threw everything off for the Bucs offense. Everything for the Bucs offense was thrown off. This game, the Eagles outright dominated. This game was not fun to watch. This game wasn't competitive. And it's exactly what I expected. The Bucs had no chance to win this game. No chance to win this game. Let me get into box score. Jalen Hurts, 23 of 37, 277 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. He had 10 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift. Okay, let me say something about DeAndre Swift. Okay, he has 16 carries for 130 yards, and it is clear as day. He's the number 1 back in Philly. That running back by committee shit, that shit is dead. He is way better than Kenneth Gainwell, way better than Rashad Penny. I don't even know if what's the dude whose last name is Scott is still on the roster, but yeah, that running back by committee shit that the Eagles had last year, that's just dead. That shit's over with. That's not a thing anymore. Honestly, it's not a thing anymore. DeAndre Swift is him. He's that nigga. It is his backfield moving forward. Okay. AJ Brown, 9 catches, 131 yards. He got back into the thick of it. He got back right. He got right back into it. He was targeted heavy and often. Olamide Zaccheaus, my Nigerian brother. Okay, he had 2 receptions for 58 yards and a tutter. Okay, and that pretty much just sums up the Eagles in a nutshell. Dominant, but they could have been even more dominant. To be honest, I mean, they dominate on both sides of the ball because of their offensive and their defensive line, and that just allows them to do the things that they do. It allows them to be 2-dimensional on offense, and it allows them to wreak havoc on defense. All right, it just is what it is. The only team that can even manage to cope with this is the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, they're obviously the class of the NFC. And they're headed for a collision course once again. They play each other in a couple. They can play each other in a couple weeks, and I'm pretty sure they'll play each other again in the NFC Championship. They'll run it back twice this season, so we'll see how that's going to play out for both these teams. The Buccaneers. I don't really know what to say about the Buccaneers. I mean, they were ass. They stunk up the fucking joint. They were ass. Baker Mayfield finally went back to his old Baker self. He was 15 of 25 for 146, a touchdown and interception. Rashad White, 14 carries, 38 yards. That's not really anything to hang your hat on. Mike Evans had 5 catches, 60 yards, a touchdown. And then Chris Godwin had 3 receptions for 32 yards. There's not really much to talk about for the Bucs. I mean, yeah, they had 2 interceptions of Jalen Hurts. One was a really bad throw that was intercepted by Devin White, and the other one, the safety made a great play. But nevertheless, they weren't able to do anything with that. So I mean, hey, it really is what it is. Not really too much to hang their hats on for the Bucs. Pretty pitiful fucking performance at home, but nevertheless, you're playing against the NFC champions. So I mean, what did you really expect out of them? I didn't really expect much. I knew this game would play out like this, but it is what it is. With that being said, my name is Michael DeLu. If you're a fan of the NFL just like me, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and join the Political Take community. With that being said, I'm out this bitch. Catch me on the next video.